Now, these two drills, thousands of my students have been saying have been giving them pro level rotation. It absolutely has done. So if you have zero hip rotation impact, if you do these drills, you're going to be rotating so much better. So let's get straight into it. What are these two drills? So the first one I talked about in my video on Monday, and that is the no backswing drill. So where we feel like we're swinging to our takeaway position and swinging through and trying to hit the ball as far as we can and trying to beat that number of that total distance on each shot. So let me put one on the table so we can then build and beat it as we go. 152. Now, save me in the comments here, guys. Yes, that was further than there. It was like back there, wasn't it? It's a feel versus real. We're feeling like we're swinging nowhere, but we have to generate some good distance from there. So how would we go about doing that? We're going to use the big muscles, of course. The lower body is going to start working a lot harder through, because if we did it with just the arms, for example, again, I'd actually got 150 there, but look at the carry, 107. That's crazy how much that's run, hasn't it? So you're not going to hit a good shot, because that's one element for this as well. You have to hit the ball solidly to do this drill properly. If you're hitting the ball solidly, you've got the elements to be able to do that. Good weight shift, which is very hard to do with such a short swing. But of course, the rotation and extension at the right time. You have to blend those three together in that short space of time to be able to get there. And what does that all accumulate to? More hip rotation. Again, my students have been absolutely loving this drill. Let's see, what was my one before? 152.6. That's gonna be hard. Look how much, see how much my body turned there? It's like I spun through it. That beat it. So this is a really, really fun game. I could do this for hours. Brilliant. So here's a little insight here, guys. I'm probably a little bit out of breath. Do you know why that is? Because I've filmed this video once before. I forgot to record it. It's annoying when that happens. It really, really is. Didn't even press the record button. Lovely. Just talking to myself the whole time. So here we go. And I actually didn't beat those numbers, so it's even better. So here we go. 154. Let's do another one. Again, if you really rep this out, guys, you're going to start to get the hip rotation, because what's it going to do? It's going to give you the feel and the sensation. So then when you go and do a normal shot, you can replicate it a lot easier. Here we go, really short backswing. Oh, all pretty good, but here's the thing. Those are all on the green. That's right, threaded between the two there. Brilliant. Absolutely awesome. So, tell you what, guys, we're going to talk about another drill, but if this does not get you rotating, I'll tell you what, this next drill will. But I'll tell you what you're not doing, and that is getting good golf gloves. So this video is sponsored by GX Gloves, my new partner for the channel. So GX Gloves are the best gloves for quality and price, because if you are really tired of buying really super expensive gloves, if you watch back through my YouTube videos, you will see that I did not used to wear gloves. Why I didn't used to wear gloves? Because I was tired of the money I spent for them, and they would be splitting all the time. Again, it wasn't warranting having to buy a new one every month or so with the amount you practice. So that's where GX gloves are the exact same good quality every glove top brand has, but for a fraction of the price. So 100% torque compared to leather, which is, if you know your gloves, that is absolute perfect. So this is why so many people are switching over to these. You've probably seen loads of other YouTube channels talk about GX gloves because they're really, really good. You might have seen your buddies out there. Me just scrolling through Instagram and TikTok, I've seen loads of people with GX gloves recently. And then here we go. It's just like it manifested into reality. So GX gloves, if you want one of these, there is a great link in description, and it is Black Friday coming up soon, of course. So we have an early access deal throughout the entire of November. So if you go and sign up to that, you'll get all this right here, including this lovely bag. Best bag I've ever owned. It is so good quality. So that's where loads of pockets for everywhere. I drink loads of water when I play, so there's really two great pockets of there. Maybe a bag review will come at another time, but you'll get that in the bundle for the early access that you can only get from the early access as well if you want a really good discount for it. So pick up your gloves. Best new thing out there, get on GX gloves. Drill number 2, a chair. So chair, a stool, or a lovely GX golf bag. So what we want to do here, we want to get a chair and we want to put it about half a grip's distance behind us. But I've made a little adaptation to this drill. It's one of my favorite ones. I use it a lot with my students. If you're skilless students watching now, of course, you'd be very familiar with this. So what we do with this, with the little adaptation, we have it a tiny bit down the target as well. So you can see how it's kind of half behind my left glutes and half down the target as well. So what that's going to encourage us to still shift as we turn. I've noticed so many golfers when they do this drill, yes, they can turn better, but they end up sinking backwards. Okay. Why is this so good to get your hips clearing up? Why does it help so many of my students? Because it gets the key thing you need to be able to have good hip rotation, and that is good hip depth. So your hips have to move more back. That is gaining more depth, and everything has more depth to it in the swing. It means more back and around us. So that's where we want this left hip to go back, to go in. What's happening? I'm not even trying to rotate it. I'm just getting left hip going back, touching that stall, and we're rotating all of a sudden. So does TrackMan want to do something here? There we go. Absolutely. So I've got this again, half a grip's distance behind me. I've got this again, slightly down the target where half's behind my glute, half is down the target. It's getting me to shift and turn at the same time, like throwing a ball. Again, we do that same thing. Just golf, for some reason, people think is exactly not like another athletic movement. Of course it is. Every rotational movement has a similar sequencing of events. Golf is no different. So let's go and try and hit it, which I didn't do. But here's a good thing, this is what I say to all my students. Even if you haven't quite hit it, the intent behind the movement is still there. You're still going to be sinking it back nicely. So that's where it's really good. That's why I prefer it to be a gap rather than it touching. I see it loads of times. Guys are sending videos to me, whether it be free swing analysis, which you're all absolutely more than welcome to do, or people sending in for lessons. They'll send themselves doing this drill and just have their hips touching it the whole time. I've never said that. Get yourself a gap. You've got to have that gap. Because if you've not got the gap, there's nothing for you to focus on to go there. That's where if you've got just the chair there and just keeping it on contact, you're only just going to move away from it unless you're physically really trying to push it back like I used to talk about on my channel. This is a better way. So that's where everyone's got to evolve for a better way to do things. This is the better way to do the chair drill. Have the gap there. Get your left hip back. Try and push it over. Try and really exaggerate it. Almost pushed it over. But I really got that left hip moving back. So brilliant, brilliant, brilliant drill. Put in the reps. Again, this drill, you don't really want to focus on the distance when you do it. Again, if you really aren't used to this, maybe you're a huge early extender. You might not be too fussed about the direction when you start off doing it. Doing it into a net will be brilliant, but that's where you want to be filming yourself as you do it. If you're filming yourself and you're still not doing it, slow it down. Do it slower. So even if you're doing it at like this speed here, so where you're doing it what feels like 50% speed, just doing a little nipper down there. But what happened? I hit it. So it's just like you're in the gym. Your goal is to bench press 100 kilos or 225 for you Americans out there. You're not going to go to the gym and put 225 on the barbell on your first session. You're going to start slower and build it, or start lighter and build it your way up. Same concept. If you can't do this full speed yet, it'll be, again, a very much safer way than getting crushed under a barbell, but doing it nice and smooth and slow. Don't care about the strike when you do it. That'll be the way to start off doing it and build it up there, guys. That's why I say to all my students, if you're not having success, start off with, and I'll play their swing through full speed, and they will be swinging full speed as hard as they can. That's not how we learn. We learn slowing it down and building it up there. So these two drills, if you do them a ton, you are going to get there. So when you're not doing the drill, again, how do you get this into your swing? You just do a lot of it. It is really, it's, again, one of those things that we all are hoping that's not the case. You know, that, yeah, I have just to do a lot of practice. But what did Ben Hogan say way back in the day? The secret is in the dirt. It absolutely is. There's no two ways about it. It's always how long you think it's going to take, double or triple it. And that's really when it's going to start to get into your swing. But start to imagine it's there. That's one thing that's going to help you. Start to imagine there's a chair there, or you're doing a no backswing, you're really ripping through. And then you're going to hit some great shots just like that. That is super down the target. That's almost on the line. So if you enjoyed this video, click that like button. For more golf instruction just like this, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.